They said the official deemed that Clark intentionally made contact, therefore a technical foul was assessed. No, you don't. That is a terrible call.
She got fouled twice and pushed into you. If you would have called one of the fouls, this wouldn't have been an issue. But because you are so piss poor at your job, you don't call anything. Now you're forced to, now you're talking, oh, she ran into me with her forearm. It was, what? Call the first 2 fouls, man. She didn't say anything to you. She didn't mean to run into you. She clearly got bumped into you. So what are you giving?
ESPN called up Adam Silver themselves. Like, Adam, you out your fucking mind with this dumbass referee suspending CC? Are you out your dumb mind with this foolish referee suspending CC for my Tuesday game? No.
Caitlin Clark was reportedly suspended until that decision was suddenly reversed. And that rapid change is what makes this situation so unusual. The issue wasn't simply a routine fine, a temporary benching, or a warning delivered after the game. The initial ruling would have kept Clark out of Indiana's important showdown with the New York Liberty, a matchup that already carried plenty of attention. Then everything changed. After taking another look at the incident, the league canceled the suspension, creating an even bigger debate about how the punishment was reached in the first place. For critics, the controversy goes beyond one whistle. It raises questions about consistency, judgment, and whether Clark received treatment that was too severe.
Talk about the Caitlin Clark play where she gets off balance and she goes into the referee. The referee takes a good 2 seconds and says, you know what, I'm going to hit her with a technical foul. I legitimately think, and the WNBA has since rescinded this would have been her 8th technical foul, she would have missed the next game. I think what I see right there on the screen is the single worst call in the history of basketball. I have never seen anything like it.
Yeah, it's brutal. And you know what's funny? They have now, and again, people are digging up the old clips of that ref actually getting like pushed and bodied and not calling up. And then you got Monica McNutt on that other network being like, I don't know, maybe it was the right call because I saw someone bump into a coach one time. It's crazy. That call was insane. They did rescind it, which is actually shocking. There was another Caitlin technical where she was mad at herself for missing a shot and she like hit the stanchion and she got a T for that as well. So listen, the league is out of control. It's off the rails, and I can't stop watching. I've been preaching now for years that this league is the most passionate. They hate each other, the infighting, the dating, the cultural, the politics. In a league in the NBA where people like LeBron's do pally pals with everybody and everyone's kumbaya, no one really cares. This league, they don't like each other, and it's pretty exciting.
A reversal like that usually points to something bigger than a borderline judgment. It suggests the first decision became difficult to justify once the footage was examined more closely by people with the authority to challenge it. And that brings the spotlight right back to the questions surrounding Clark throughout the season. When a decision changes so dramatically after review, how was the original ruling allowed to stand in the first place? Was the judgment simply mistaken, or is there a deeper issue with the way these incidents involving Clark continue to unfold? Because once again, somehow, her name is right at the center of the controversy.
She got fouled. She got bumped into the red. They think, what is that? What is that? First of all, you idiotic ref who probably should be collecting trash on Tuesdays and Thursdays or whichever day your trash men pick up your trash from your curb. First of all, if you would have called the first foul or the second foul, because she got bumped twice on that drive, which sent her into the baseline, which forced her to run into you. If you would have called one of the first 2 fouls, she would have never ran into you.
Here's where the controversy really begins. Clark is sprinting toward a loose ball, trying to regain position after being knocked off her path. At that speed, there's only so much control a player has over where she ends up. As she moves back toward the court, she collides with an official. But nothing about the sequence suggests she was deliberately targeting anyone. There's simply nowhere else for her momentum to go. Slow the footage down. Replay it from another angle. The basic sequence stays the same. This looks far more like an unavoidable collision than intentional misconduct, the kind of contact that can happen during a fast-paced game. Yet for Clark, the incident resulted in technical foul number 8, and triggered an automatic 1-game suspension.
We handled that business And Caitlin Clark had an 8 technical foul rescinded. Won't be suspended Tuesday. Yeah, and the ref that did that mess, knowing that shouldn't even been happening. Yeah, let's go and get up out of here. I don't know if referees get licensed or what they get, but let's revoke them. Because at this point, all conspiracy theorists and people that say certain things look to be correct. Because it's no way any human being with a brain you don't even gotta be the smartest, just at least have a brain in your head, know that shouldn't have been a technical. So they either look like you against them or they look like you're gambling.
That is the detail that deserves the most attention. Bad calls happen in every sport, and a mistaken whistle by itself isn't unusual. The bigger concern is what happened after this particular play, especially when you consider the player involved and how severe the interpretation became. Look at the sequence closely. There is no obvious shove. Clark doesn't appear to lean into the official or deliberately make contact. She is moving at full speed, already off balance, with very little room to change direction. At that point, momentum is doing most of the work. Yet the whistle treated the collision as though intent could somehow be pulled from the movement itself, turning an accidental moment into a punishment with major consequences.
Clark telling Holly Rowe, I'll see you on Tuesday and I'll be playing, is absolutely crazy, but she's right. I mean, and I said in my live, I'm like, it's going to be rescinded. I'm pretty confident it's going to be rescinded. But Caitlin Clark called that shot. She said, I'll see you on Tuesday. Because, of course, Holly asked her about it right after the game. She's like, yeah, it was unintentional contact. I didn't even say anything to her. I said nothing.
What stands out even more is Clark's reaction afterward. There was no explosive confrontation, no shouting at the officials, and no attempt to turn the moment into a spectacle. Instead, she remained remarkably composed. She later explained that there was no intention behind the contact and no exchange between her and the official. She had even reviewed the footage herself before being questioned about it, and after watching it, she still couldn't see anything that justified a suspension. That response is telling. This wasn't a player visibly losing control and then facing the consequences. It was someone treating the incident as an accident, while seemingly becoming accustomed to the idea that, when these situations involve her, the benefit of the doubt isn't always the first thing she receives.